So in the year 1988, midsummer, I believe I was 19 years old, and I'd been working on pulling units in the oil patch, probably southwest of the town I grew up in, and we'd been out there for quite a few days, and each day has been getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And next thing I remember, this one particular day, it was a really nice day. We started off good. We had to wrench rods out of this well so we could plug this well. And I told my friend to let me have it all that morning to wrench all those rods, and so I did. And about halfway through, we took a break and we took our shirts off, which was probably the worst thing we could have done. Temperature was probably around, I want to say 98 degrees. Humidity was probably not that high. It was more of a hot day than it was a humid day, I guess, so to speak. More dry than anything. Water, didn't drink much water. I don't remember drinking hardly any water at all that morning. Probably had a couple Dr. Peppers. Other than that, I don't remember anything else. Probably skipped through lunch. That was our normal routine. We don't normally break for lunch. We just keep on going until we get done so we can get off a little bit earlier. So about the time I finished wrenching all those rods, it was a pretty good day. It was probably getting on about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we got the rods out, laid on the ground, and we went over to take a break. And at that time, it's when my friend noticed that I wasn't sweating anymore, and I was red. I was really bright red, and I wasn't feeling good. I was really nauseated. I wanted to throw up like crazy. So got me some water, of course. That water didn't help. Next thing I remember, I just started tingling all over, started feeling dizzy. Had to sit down. I just couldn't, I didn't have any energy. They couldn't get me off the ground. They noticed that things wasn't going right for me. As far as I was concerned, I couldn't tell to myself other than I was tired. I was like, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me. But they saw something different. So there was a big water truck there, a big tanker that they were going to use to mix concrete with later in the week to plug that well. They brought me over to the back of that truck and they opened that valve and they drenched me in water. And it was hot water. It didn't really feel that good to me. Next thing I remember, they've stripped me down into my underwear. I'm in the back of a Bronco with a set of white sheets over the top of me soaked in water. And they got the air conditioner on full blast and they're cruising down the highway. I think the first place they took me was a clinic in the closest town I was to, probably 40 miles or so. And as soon as I got there, they were like, no, we can't help him. You got to get him to the hospital. It'll be quicker if you drive him. The ambulance is on a run. We can't help you. So of course at that time they turned around and we went another 60 plus miles or 40 plus miles, I guess, maybe, to the nearest hospital. And upon arriving on the hospital, I guess I was unconscious. I remember waking up on a gurney, going down the hallway with a nurse on top of me, pounding on my chest. And I remember coming to and waking up and wondering what was going on. Found myself, I guess, later, the next day, I guess I woke back up. I must have passed back out. Woke up in the room, hospital room, with 2 or 3 IVs stuck in me. And the nurse come in and asked me how I was doing. I said everything hurts, and my feet were hurting. My eyes, my ears, my head, my neck was hurting. It's like someone ran over me with a car or something. I guess I went into shock, and all the muscles in my body contracted. I broke toes. I think I broke the muscles in my eyelids. I had solid black eyes. My ears are constant ringing. My jaw, I had stretched muscles, tore muscles in my neck and my jaw. My groin area, of course. Breaking my toes on that was intense. You can't even fathom how your muscles can tense up so tight that you break toes. So I spent 3 weeks, I think, almost 3 weeks in the hospital. I was able to go home. For the first 30 days home, I couldn't walk out the front door. I couldn't. If I opened the front door and stepped outside when the sun was up, I'd instantly pass out. So, of course, that only took one time. It took me about 3 months to be able to go outside and to be able to handle the sunlight on me. Even at nighttime with the heat of the summer, it was still very uncomfortable. About 6 months later, I went back to work, and at that time I went back out on a line crew, building lines, and it's in the panhandle of Texas, Paladura Canyon, over by Amarillo, and I was down. We were pulling wire through the trees down there at the bottom of that creek, and a heat stress hit me again. It come on me again, and it took me down. The guys had to rush me to the hospital. Of course, I spent the afternoon in the hospital there with another IVs. Them trying to get fluids in me. Of course, it took another month or two to get over that. So, long story short, drink plenty of fluids. If you're not drinking fluids and you don't have a good diet, it's going to catch you. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter who you are. I was 19 years old when this happened, and I mean, it could happen to anybody. The older you get, the worse your health is, the harder it's going to be on you. So, and back then, being 19, all I did was drink soda pops and alcohol and anything else I can get a hold of. And my diet was convenience store food, and I mean, that's what's going to happen. So, that's my story.